Hey collectors, welcome to Star Wars Collected. I'm Jonathan. If you're new here, I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing. But if you've been here before, I want you to hit that like button like a Camino poison dart hitting the neck of a bounty hunter, because what I have for you guys today are Jango Fett's blasters from Watto's Junkyard. Super excited to open this up with you guys, put it together, and check it out. Collectors, Jango Fett's blasters have been on my radar for a long time. Master Replicas made one back in the day, but they are very hard to find and extremely expensive when you do find them. I've even bought the rubies, little blasters you can buy, the little Halloween ones, and tried to use some rub and buff on those at one point to kind of give you that aluminum look, but I never even displayed them because I just never thought that they quite hit how I wanted them to. So I got really excited when on one of the many Star Wars Facebook groups I belong to, someone posted that Watto's Junkyard was doing a run of blasters. And I have never dealt with them before, but I've heard good things about them. So I was very, very excited to have this new opportunity pop up here. Now I went ahead and got the full kit, which means 2 blasters, and I got the display stand for it as well. So that way it will look nice and beautiful in my collection when my collection looks nice and beautiful again. Go ahead and get this out of the way here. Now this does require a little bit of assembly here. So this is obviously the display stand piece itself. And I believe that this is also part of that as well. So each one of these boxes represents a blaster. Now they are going to be nearly identical to one another. And I'll show you how they vary here in a moment. So these are called Lead Chemist, Watto's Junkyard. So Lead Chemist, I'm guessing, is a nod to the fact that Jango Fett is the clone template, and that way they don't actually have to call it Jango Fett's blaster, which might have some copyright issues. And it has a certificate of authenticity here with the founders' names on it. Very cool, and signed. And a little sticker down here at the bottom. Looks like I have number 58 on this one. And let's see what this one is. Number 58 of 100, I should note. And this one is 57 of 100. So that's cool. I've got sequential numbers. I like that. Very well packaged. I really like these boxes. It's very nice. And here we are, we're already into it. Here are all the components. Now you do build it yourself, which I think is kind of cool. I also know that this helps them ship it. This came from Germany, and I think it's much easier to ship something that looks very much like a gun if it is all in a bunch of little pieces. So let's lay out the components here. We have our handle piece here. We have a barrel back here. Here's the actual tip of the gun. Here is one of the triggers. Here's the pommel. Which pieces want to come out first? Okay, there's that piece. And this piece, this I know is for sure the back of the gun. And we have this piece which connects at the bottom here. And let's see which one of these guys wants to come out. Looks like the barrel. And then this little guy down here at the end. And inside of that piece is where they've stuffed the components for us to build it. They give you everything you need, all different little connectors and some little hex wrenches and all that. So now that we have all our pieces out, let's go ahead and start putting it together a little bit here. We have a piece that goes in here at the bottom, like so, and it's just a lot of kind of lining things up and then putting the appropriate screws in. They give you the little Allen keys to get everything nice and tight. It is aluminum, so you want to be a little careful. Don't want to over tighten things. This one came with these screws up here installed on the body, but from what I've seen, that's not where those belong. These 3 screws go into the base. And then we have 2 longer screws that kind of help us put it all together. So not really sure why those are placed there, but that's where they are. So yeah, we'll put the pommel on the bottom here. Drop this little screw in. All right, so those are all nice and loaded in there. I know Attack of the Clones isn't necessarily everyone's favorite Star Wars prequel film. I think I probably rank it a little bit higher than The Phantom Menace, although there's a lot of good parts to love in both. But Jango Fett was always just such a cool standout character to me. I remember being the right age when the prequels were coming out and just seeing him and always liking Boba Fett, and we kind of got like another Boba Fett type character, so that was really exciting to see. And I just always thought his costume, the less colorful kind of version of Boba Fett, I thought was really cool, and his blasters always stuck with me as something that were just very like elegant looking. So I was very excited to add this to my collection here. So we've got 2 pieces I just slid on here with the barrel, and then we have another piece here that then goes on here as well. So it's a lot of lining things up and kind of hoping that it all fits together properly. Just making sure there aren't any pieces here I'm forgetting. There are some little rubber bands here and I don't really know what to do with those. There's a spring as well. and the spring I know will go into the trigger area here, but I'm not really sure what the rubber bands are for. So unfortunately, Watto's Junkyard didn't include instructions here. Now maybe they're on the website and I'm not looking in the right spot, but I think I can kind of figure out how this goes together. This thing slides together very easily. You can tell it's very well made, very well thought out. So if for some reason I've missed a step, I will be able to go back and take it apart and put it back together again. Again, being aluminum, you want to be a little careful with how you put it together. Get it just tight enough. This one down here is a little more hidden, a little bit harder to get into, but we can do it. Feels great in the hand. I have to admit, I love the metal pieces. I really love 1-to-1 scale props. It really is my bread and butter. It's very tempting to buy, a whole shelf of Hot Toys, but if I can get a 1-to-1 prop in my collection, that is really my jam. It just makes Star Wars feel so much more real to me. So that's all nice and loaded in. This is feeling really, really good, really solid, very, very cool. We've got a spring here. So that spring, there's a little cutout right there. We're just gonna go ahead and place that in there. And this one has an open trigger. Now my other one, I haven't checked it out yet, but my other one should have a closed trigger. And that is the difference between the two. Depressing the spring a little bit, sliding that in there. And that spring just provides just enough tension to give you a little bit of play on the trigger then. And this, you just keep going with your fingers until you can't go anymore. So now there's a little bit of trigger rock, not a lot. Not a ton, but it's enough that when you pull on it, you hear a little bit of noise. So that's pretty cool. So we have the back end of the gun now. So this is the very back piece. Now, this is one of the harder parts to install. You put that in there, but then you've got the world's smallest little nut. All right, well, I finally got that in. That was a bit of a pain, with a better set of tools or like a screwdriver or something like that I could have put down in there. Probably would not have taken so much time, but makes it feel all the more like you're really building something here. So these two components screw together like this, and then you have the back of your gun here, your little blaster, and you screw those in together like so, and there you go. One thing I'm really enjoying about this so far is that things are like lining up properly. So many times, especially with screw type things, and this is a lot of lightsabers, especially legacy lightsabers, is that you screw the two pieces together, maybe where the battery compartment is, and things don't quite line up right. They've paid a lot of attention as to like where these threads are and how everything goes together. We're gonna put this here on the end now. All right, and then like I said, there were a bunch of rubber bands included. I'm not exactly sure what those are for. There's also a silicone tip or plastic tip of some sort that you can put in here. It is very open on the inside, so if you wanted to add some electronics, you could add a little trigger thing behind here probably, and then you could put the stuff within the barrel, and you could attach an LED at the end, and you'd be able to actually have it go pew 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 pew, pew, just like my shirt says. So that is very cool. So that is one down. Let's go ahead and open up the other one, and then we'll build the stand. The second one here does have the different trigger. So this is something I didn't even know until I bought these, that Jango Fett's blasters, one doesn't have a full round trigger and the other one does have a little metal piece going all the way around. So that's one thing I love about collecting Star Wars things, especially from all of you people out there who really, really know your stuff and really put in the research. I learn more about Star Wars by engaging with your businesses and buying your products and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed run this, build this all together. I'll be right back. All right, collectors, we have them both assembled together. Second one went together even faster than the first one, and these things are a work of art. I've long desired having Jango Fett's blasters in my collection. The master replica ones have always been something that I've coveted and just never really thought that it was going to happen for me. So when I saw these pop up, I just couldn't resist placing a pre-order on it. It took some time to get them, but well worth it. Really want to thank Watto's Junkyard for making a great product. I'm really looking forward to following and seeing what you guys do in the future so that I can, maybe get another type of grail piece off my list. But just, it's machined beautifully. All the different finishes are so nice. I love the detail in here and like really holding them and looking at them. It just really gives you an appreciation for the design in the prequel series. So, you know, I was kind of the right age for the prequels to come out, but then there was tons of prequel hate. And I think overall, I just sort of had a sour taste in my mouth afterwards. But with a combination of gaining a higher appreciation for the design work that went into that and the Clone Wars series, the prequels as a whole have really been redeemed for me, and I find them much more enjoyable than I once did. So let's go ahead and finish this off by building the stand for it. This was also something that I was really excited to see. This was an extra, although I don't think it was very expensive, and to me it was kind of an obvious thing. What's the point of having such nice pieces if you can't display them properly? That is what's taking me so long with redoing my collection room down here. I am getting closer and closer, making my final plans, but I really want it to be perfect and beautiful and lasting, and that all takes a little bit of time. But things like these display stands will go a long way in having that happen and having that look really good. We have a protective film on top of this, but there's some little cutouts here, and then there's some little pieces of mirror on there as well, which is pretty cool, kind of giving you a little bit of that master replica vibe. We have some, looks like Chicago screws here. This piece was made by Stevens Laser Studio, Laser Graver and Schnitt, obviously a German company, which I love to see. I'm German by many generations, but obviously here in America, so kind of cool to have this. I also just love how Star Wars just doesn't matter where you are, man. People just love Star Wars. So I love how it can kind of bring the world together a little bit. So let's see here. We've got these Chicago screws and these individual pieces here. So let's go ahead and take this protective film off. And each one of these pieces also has protective films on them on both sides. And that kind of gets rid of that green color that you see on it, that tint. That's just the protective coatings. These first three that I've unboxed, these all look like they're the same shape. And then these last two are a little bit more open. And they also don't have a tab that goes down into the body. So I'm guessing that these are some sort of middle piece. I don't actually remember what this stand looks like when all assembled. So I will just sort of make it up as we go. But I think I've got a pretty good idea. So yeah, I'm guessing it's some sort of combination like this, and little holder on the other side. And we use the Chicago screws to go through the middle. Do they call these Chicago screws in Germany? I don't know. Maybe they're Stuttgart screws or something like that. All right, there we go. There's that German engineering. Let's go ahead here and we'll put a blaster here in the back and a blaster here in the front. And there we go. What do you guys think? It's reminiscent of the way that the Master Replica one is displayed. Well guys, I think these just look fantastic. I'm really excited to have these in my collection. It was a pre-order that was a while ago, so I'm not sure if it's something you can purchase now, but definitely watch Watto's Junkyard. This is also shipping to customers right now, so you might find some on the secondary market, people who have decided that they don't have space for it or the focus of their collection has changed or something like that. I'm really looking forward to getting this well displayed, you know, behind some glass and putting it, you know, at eye level or maybe other people's eye level so that they can really see it and take in all the details here. You know, I've had some fitment issues with some collectibles in the past, some lightsabers, some other items. This doesn't have that. This is very well machined and it's very precise. It feels like you could actually, if the science existed, actually shoot lasers out of it because it just seems like it's that well made. And it really gives you an appreciation for Doug Chiang and his team and the work that they put into the prequels, making something really this beautiful. It's just got this space age, Art Deco type thing going on, very reminiscent of what inspired George with Flash Gordon and stuff like that. You can see that here, but elevated and put into the Star Wars universe. So I think I've never liked these blasters more than I like them right now. All right, collectors, hop down in the comments. Let me know what you think of these, what you think of Jango Fett, what you think of Attack of the Clones. Let me know. I want to hear about it. I couldn't be more pleased with these pieces, and I hope that you have the opportunity to purchase something like this in the future that makes you this happy, because I think these are excellent. One of the best Star Wars collectibles I've purchased in the last few years, I think. If you like this video, make sure you give me a like. If you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Behind me, I have a ton of boxes. We have Sideshow, we have Hot Toys, we have NYC, we have full-scale props, we've got miniature stuff, we have everything back there. We try to get out a video about once a week, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram. It's a place where you and I can connect a little bit more directly. I'm always sharing really good deals that I found on there, memes, little things like that, little polls, fun stuff like that. It's just a fun little community, so make sure you're following there as well. And also make sure you never miss a video from Star Wars Collected here. So guys, until the next one, see ya.